tone. We've been scared to sing out loud, but we don't care no more, 'cause we know life is short. We don't care who hears us now. Breathe it in and let it out. Let it out. Breathe it in and let it out. Let it out. Got me walking on a wire. Got me shaking at night. When my soul gets tired, feel like I'm losing that fight. From the day we're born, we're scarred and torn. We've been scared to sing out loud, but we don't care no more, 'cause we know life is short. We don't care who hears us now. Breathe it in and let it out. Let it out. Breathe it in and let it out. Let it out. Yeah, come on, let it out. Are you holding on? Are you up against those ropes? 'Cause I know how it feels to lose the hope. Are you holding in? Well, come on, let it out. Take a breath and let it out. From the day we're born, we're scarred and torn. We've been scared to sing out loud, but we don't care no more, 'cause we know life is short. We don't care who hears us now. Breathe it in and let it out. Let it out. Let it out. Yeah, come on, let it out. Let it out. Breathe it in and let it out. Everybody has trial and temptation. Everybody knows heartbreak, isolation. But we can lay our burdens down. Lay our burdens down. What a friend we have in Jesus. East to west, my sins are gone. I see grace on every horizon, and forever and ever His heart is my home. Everybody has fears, everybody got worry. Everybody knows sorrow, devastation. But we can lay our burdens down. Lay our burdens down. What a friend we have in Jesus. East to west, my sins are gone. I see grace on every horizon, and forever and ever His heart is my home. No more betrayal, for He is faithful. He fills me up and my cup runneth over. No more betrayal, for He is faithful. How He has proven it over and over. No more betrayal, for He is faithful. No more betrayal, for He is faithful. Over and over, over and over. What a friend we have in Jesus. East to west, my sins are gone. I see grace on every horizon, and forever and ever His heart is my home. What a friend we have in Jesus. East to west, my sails are gone. Yeah, I see grace on every horizon, and forever and ever His heart is my home. Forever and ever His heart is my home.
When I think about where I would have been without you, I'm so glad it's a place I never have to be. Even if I tried, I couldn't count the ways. Not enough words for me to ever say just how good you are to me. Hey, how could I hide this joy inside of me? Amazing grace, oh Lord, I can't it be? Every day of my life I want the world to see. I can't get over what you've done for me. You got me singing like amen, 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 oh, amen. What you did has given me a hope forever, and what you do has shown me you will never leave. Oh, even if I tried, I couldn't count the ways. Not enough words for me to ever say just how good you are to me. Yeah. How could I hide this joy inside of me? Amazing grace, oh Lord, I can't it be? Every day of my life I want the world to see. I can't get over what you've done for me. You got me singing like amen, 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 oh, amen. I can't get over what you've done for me. That's why I gotta sing. I can't get over what you've done for me. That's why I gotta sing. Every mountain, every valley, ever since the day you found me, I can't get over what you've done for me. That's why I gotta sing. Amen. Oh, how could I hide this joy inside of me? I can't hide. Amazing grace, oh Lord, I can't it be? Every name I ever want the world to sing. I can't get over what you've done for me. You got me singing like amen, 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 oh yeah, amen. One more time now. Amen, 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 oh amen.
Hey everybody, I'm Drew Biswas. I'm one of the RVPs here at PUC, and this is your March 4th community brief. So today's community is going to be focused on Career Day, and we're super excited to have Salle from Uber be our speaker. Vespers this Friday at 7 p.m. will be a mental health panel, and it'll be online. Just go to puc.edu/YouTube. It's going to be a super good one. Be sure to tune in. Tonight, SA presents glass painting. That'll happen at the campus center from 4 to 6 p.m., so you don't want to miss it. Be sure to catch your Pioneer athletes at home or away at pioneersathletics.com. And don't forget, we have daily content online. That'll be at PUC Now, PUC Student Life, and PUC.SA. So be sure to follow those accounts on Instagram. And this has been your March 4th Community Brief.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Career Day community. I'm Sydney Johnston, the Career Counselor here at Pacific Union College. We have a lot of special things in store for you today. We hope you take advantage of the opportunity to meet with PUC alumni and industry professionals who will be available to meet with you one-on-one via handshake.
Enjoy being in college. I actually truly miss it now. I love my job and I love, being a fully functioning adult, but I do miss some of the freedom of college, and it really is less stressful. In the moment, it feels very stressful, and I remember that, but it's a different type of stress, and just enjoy college.
Focus on never giving up, just knowing that you will get there someday. Have hope, have faith. God's going to put you right where you could serve Him best.
I would really say be honest with yourself about who you are and what your talents and skills are and what you want to do.
I'd say enjoy yourself more. I had a great time in college, wonderful experience. Keep those friendships alive. I lost touch with some of my good friends there, and I miss that now.
Kind of figure things out early because college is not cheap, and going into life with a lot of debt, school debt, is rough. So if you can, try at least a class or two, but make decisions earlier maybe, or just that's one thing. I kind of took me a while to figure out what I wanted to do. Unfortunately, you're so young, you just need some time, and time isn't always on your side.
Advice I could give my college self: study harder. I didn't study very hard. I was not dumb. I just liked playing. So I would like to go back or tell myself to just do a little bit harder and get a few better grades.
Don't be afraid of things that you don't know. There's always going to be things that you don't know, and take it as an opportunity to just learn and grow and be able to use that experience in future things. There's no rush to have everything aligned and have your whole life set. That will be a constant journey, trying to find what you want to do and what your next steps are.
Oh my goodness, enjoy the time you have with little responsibility. Because when you get out in the real world, guys, it's not the same. We still have awesome friends from PUC that we're still like, hey, remember the time? Or what about this time? So enjoy yourself. Have the time of your life. Just live, laugh, love, and pray. God is always with you.
Salle Yu is currently the Chief Legal Officer and Corporate Secretary of IonQ Inc. She's also an early-stage investor, advisor, and board member. She currently serves on the board of Helium Inc. and Quick Inc. She is a limited partner with Operator Collective, Jane VC, and Construct Capital, funds led by women to seek to invest in women founders. Salle is former Chief Legal Officer, Corporate Secretary, and General Counsel of Uber Technologies Inc. Yes, that Uber. While at Uber, Salle was responsible for legal, regulatory, compliance, insurance, and safety items. Salle was a member of the executive team that grew Uber from 11 cities and 4 countries in July 2012 to over 200 cities and over 40 countries by December 2017. Prior to Uber, Salle was a litigation partner at Davis Wright Tremaine. Salle also serves as the president of the Asian Art Museum Foundation Board and as vice chair of the Asian Art Commission. She is a member of the museum's Compensation Committee, Committee of Trustees, and Audit Committee. She also serves on the Board of Trustees for Scripps College, where she is a member of its Financial Stewardship Committee and vice chair of its Trustee and Governance Committee. She is a member of the Board of the Council for Korean Americans and its board secretary. She also serves as a member of the Leaders Council of the Legal Services Corporation. Salle is a graduate of Scripps College and Boston University School of Law. Salle's brother, Dr. James Yu, is a local dentist and a PUC alum, as well as an adjunct professor for PUC. Please join me in welcoming Salle Yu.
Good morning. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak at PUC. I'm really glad to be here. As some of you may know, my brother is a graduate of PUC, and I have many close friends who are alums. And now my niece is a student at PUC Prep, so this is a place that is very close to my heart. I understand that today's focus is careers. On that topic, the number one question I get is, how did you become general counsel of Uber? I'm going to answer that question, but this morning, I really want to talk about the decisions and lessons I learned along the way that prepared me for Uber. Specifically, I'm going to start this morning by going back, way back to the beginning of 7th grade. When my parents immigrated to the US from Korea, they decided to hold me back so that I was one of the oldest kids in my class throughout grade school. This was way before Malcolm Gladwell, and they had no ambitions for me to become a hockey player. But I think this was a popular educational theory in vogue in admin circles in Southern California in the late 70s. As a result of their decision, grade school was extremely easy and I was bored. So bored that by the beginning of 7th grade, I decided that what I wanted was to do the 7th and 8th grade in 1 year. Now, I had no idea how I was going to do this. It's not a thing in my school. No one had ever done it before, and I had never discussed this dream of essentially skipping a grade with anyone. I wasn't even sure how to make it happen. In fact, it was more likely than not that it wouldn't happen. So I could have thought about it rationally, looked at the probabilities, and sat still, i.e., not make any moves. In fact, that would have been the easiest path. However, I really thought skipping a grade was the right thing for me, and I wanted to do it before I started high school. So I started by telling one friend. I told her just casually that I was thinking of skipping half of 7th and half of 8th, and I don't know exactly what she said, but she did not shut me down. So then I decided that I would tell my parents, who, to their credit, listened and then somehow must have brought up this idea with the school. The result? What happened when I put myself out there on a limb? What happened when I opened myself up to the possibility of semi-public failure? I skipped half of 7th and half of 8th and finished 7th and 8th grade in 1 year. I started the year with one class and graduated the same year with another class. And I realized for the first time how powerful a force a dream, even a small personal dream, can be when it is articulated and followed on by action. So, lesson number 1, dream, then hold yourself accountable by sharing your dream. Saying it out loud moves us to action in the direction we want to go. Now, when I say share your dream, I don't mean share it on group chat, Instagram, or Snap. What I'm talking about is finding a friend, someone who would want you to succeed, and sharing it with that person. And remember what I said about my parents? When you have a dream, you should tell someone who could actually help you figure out how to get from point A to point B. This approach will work as you continue in your academic pursuits or when you start working. We all need supporters, allies, who can help us achieve our dreams. And then, when the opportunity presents itself, make sure that you help others achieve their dreams. So, skipping forward, I finished school, started working as a lawyer. As a counterpoint to the monotony of the law firm grind, I looked for ways to give back to the community. One of the ways was to join the Korean American Chamber of Commerce in San Francisco. After a few years as a member, one of the leaders encouraged me to run for president. This was a group of Korean American CEOs and other C-suite people. I did not feel ready to lead them. In fact, as a junior lawyer, a woman in her early 30s, I felt distinctly unready. I hope that as a result of your education here at PUC, many of you do not share the same hesitation that I had. But for those of you who might, it's not just you. Studies show that particularly women and minorities tend to wait until they feel qualified before seeking promotions or leadership roles. This is part of the reason why certain groups progress more slowly to positions of leadership. But going back to my experience, I talked over the idea with one of my mentors, and he said something that I have never forgotten. He said, "This is an opportunity. Just say yes, and you'll grow into it. And if you have any questions, you can just ask me." So I said yes. I leapt and grew into it and gained confidence that I could successfully lead something I didn't feel 100% ready or qualified for. So, lesson number 2, don't stand on the ledge until you feel 100% ready. Practice leaping. Bite off more than you can chew and grow into the responsibility that you've taken on. You're probably asking yourself, all of this is somewhat interesting, but what about Uber? So, in the spring of 2012, for some of you, I realize, you were in grade school. I was having lunch with a friend who is a legal recruiter. She asked me if I would consider going in-house, going to work for a company instead of working at a law firm. For a number of reasons, which is a whole other speech, I was slightly open to the idea that day. She took my tepid, maybe for the right role, as an opportunity to open up her bag and pull out a job description, which she put in front of me. Being her friend, I read it. It was a job description for Uber, a company that I'd never heard of. This was in 2012. Uber was only in 10 or 11 cities. The way to get a ride back in 2012 was to stand on a corner and do this, or to call a taxi company and have one show up about 20 minutes later. But a few people were starting to find out how great it was to request a car via an app, or in my case, via a BlackBerry. My interest was piqued. I researched the company extensively, tested the app around San Francisco, and fell in love with the product and threw my hat in the ring. After many rounds of interviews, I received the job offer. I was then at a crossroads. I had stayed on the law firm path for nearly 15 years because I was committed to increasing the number of minority women partners in large law firms. Back in 2012, leaving a hard-earned law partnership, a path that I was committed to, for a relatively unknown startup of less than 100 people, was not a clear-cut decision. Lawyers are by nature risk-averse. I'm no exception. If I looked at the decision from the perspective of why would I leave my law firm partnership, take a pay cut, and join a startup of less than 100 people, the answer was clear: no way. However, I decided that the right question to ask myself was, when is the next time I'd be asked to become a general counsel of a tech company? When I asked myself that question, the decision was easy. Maybe never. So lesson number 3, when faced with a crossroad in your life or your career, perhaps a hard pivot from where you thought you were headed, make sure that you ask yourself the right question. It could lead to tremendous opportunity to learn, grow, and take you on an adventure like no other. And all those lessons that I had learned earlier, dreaming big and telling someone so that they could hold me accountable and help me along the way, leaping into roles that I wasn't quite ready for, but ready to grow into, those were the lessons that helped me, that prepared me for the decision to join Uber. Those are also the same lessons that help me today. Now, before I go, PUC is a special place, as you know, not simply because of the beauty of Angwin or the education you will receive, but because of the opportunity that it presents for you to grow, not only as a person, but a person who grows in personal relationship with God. Today, I want to encourage you to commit to and test that relationship. You will mess up. There will be periods of growth and periods of struggle, but don't be discouraged in your personal journey and don't give up. A short story. Early in my career as a lawyer, I wasn't making that much money. I know, that might be surprising, but between paying for rent in San Francisco and my student loans from college and law school, money was tight, and my trusty old Honda Civic was on its last legs. One year, Early on, I received a raise and a good bonus, over 10% of my salary. But 10% of a small number is still a small number. I was committed to tithing, to return to God in thanks for his blessings to me, so that hopefully the blessings may be extended and shared with others. But I struggled a little bit over that weekend on whether to tithe on the bonus. I really could use that money. Ultimately, I decided that God had always fulfilled his commitment to me and that I wanted to return my commitment to him. So I put my tithe in the envelope and moved on. The next week, I was called into my big boss's office. At first, I was a little concerned. No one really wants to be called into the big boss for an unannounced meeting. I thought I had been doing a good job, but who knew? He told me that the firm had decided to do an off-cycle salary raise and that I was one of the employees getting a raise. Remember, I had just gotten an annual raise, so this was completely unexpected. The raise exceeded my bonus. I learned a very important lesson that day. That was a moment, one that I have never forgotten. It doesn't mean that your career or life path will be easy, but it does mean, at least it has for me, that you are never alone in that journey and that you will receive blessings that are not only unexpected, but beyond what you might have imagined. So, as you go about your life, including your career, I encourage you to dream out loud and hold yourself accountable. Practice leaping, and when you're at a crossroad, to make sure you're asking yourself the right question. And most of all, to always seek to do the right thing. I'm excited to see where you go. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Michael Jefferson, and I'm the director of the Career and Counseling Center here at Pacific Union College. Handshake is an app that connects PUC students with internships and entry-level jobs. Over 14 million students and young alumni from over 700 colleges and universities use Handshake. The app connects PUC students to career services and helps streamline introducing student candidates to employers. Every student at PUC already has a Handshake account available to them. To access and to participate in today's career fair, visit the address below. Use your PUC credentials to log into Handshake. Once you've signed in, you can access the career fair page to register in the events section of your dashboard. From there, you can sign up for various time slots with different consultants and potential employers. Join us in exploring career opportunities and have conversations with consultants who are happy and successful in their careers. Bow your heads with me in prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for each one of these students. Thank you for PUC. I pray that you would go with them as they go through the rest of the day. Bless their conversations. I pray that they may sense your presence in their life and that they may feel your guidance in pushing them in a career. Lord, I pray that you would allow them to reflect your love and give them a wonderful experience here at PUC. We ask these things in your name. Amen.